Hi, this is Bly and Holly at 34 Vampires. Thank you for joining us again. Today we are going to be cruising from Dean Locks to Wigan. We need to stop off and top up for water on the way, and luckily there's a water point by Dean Lock. The weather started off as a really lovely day but clouded over as the time went on. We've only been creeping along because at this time the droughts are still going on, so there's only so much movement that we can go forwards. And obviously we've left our mooring that we really loved, our previous one, which was one of the most beautiful ones that we've been to yet. As you'll see in the next episode, which will be episode 5 that will be coming out shortly, you'll see that probably going to Wigan and mooring where we did wasn't the best of ideas. We had a little bit of a disaster there which caused us to move on again, but you'll be able to see that in the next video. As you can see, we moved through a really beautiful area on the way to Wigan, and where we were moored up wasn't that far from the Wigan dry dock, which was really handy for water because we were there for quite a while, and after we moved off from that point we were still going back to the dock, so that's been really handy for us from a water perspective, because obviously there are only limited water sources along the way. And so once we were moored at Wigan, we were moored sort of roughly opposite the stadium. We had one of our wettest days yet, and yeah, because we've had very little rain during the drought since we've been on the boat, because I think we launched on the 17th of June of this year. So even though it was still pretty wet, we decided to go for a walk, and as you can see at the side of the canal there was an awful lot of rubbish. It was a real shame to see because obviously the ducks, the wildlife, were in there, and also a lot of graffiti, so you could kind of tell that you're getting a bit closer towards the town. So we went for a bit of a wander, had a look at some of the sites, and there were a lot of signs up explaining the history of the place, and also we saw the signs for Kittiwake canal cruises, which we saw some of those boats, which we'll show you later on in the video. So we came across this poem that somebody had written on the pavement, so we stopped and read it. It was really nice to see there and read. We certainly didn't consider it graffiti at all. It was really nice to see. There was a second one there as well, which had been rubbed off by people walking over it. But when we were there a few weeks later again, we actually saw people stopping in the street to read it. So whoever put the effort in to do that, certainly it was worth their while. We then went to have a look at St James's Church, which was very picturesque. It was well worth going to look at. Had lots of grotesques on it. I thought they were gargoyles, but apparently they're grotesques. And yeah, they were all around the building. It was quite impressive to see how many of them that there were. And from there we took a wander up to the bridge, the next lock that we would be going through after we would next be going through Wigan Dry Dock lock, and went and had a look to see what we'd be dealing with, and obviously being new, you know, you never know what you're coming up against. And then we went up and had a look at the the next lock after that, which is the Lee branch, the first lock there, that was currently closed, and as you can see again, a lot of litter. We then decided to stop for a drink in the Three Mills, which was a really nice place, obviously a big old industrial building that had been converted into a bar, and stayed in there for a couple of hours till we went back because the weather was still pretty bad.
You're not drunk at all?
A few days later we were back to the dry dock at Wigan to top up with water again, just because we knew the tank was going to get a little bit low because the washing machine needed to get on, and luckily the towpath was pretty wide, so I was able to put the rotary line on, because it's absolute nightmare when I've got to put it all out on the stern on the clothes horse. We had to moor really widely. You can see just how wide, because as you can see in the following photos, there were problems with the bank caving in to do with the stone wall bit at the side, which was quite problematic, so we did actually move up a little bit more again to avoid that, and we did get actually a little bit of boat damage due to it, because when the water was a bit murky when we first got there, we couldn't actually see all of the stones underneath. But you can see it's a real shame because the path itself is really, really well maintained. Luckily, as the weather had brightened up, we were able to go for a walk and spend some time outside after all the rain of the day before. And as you can see, it wasn't a lake next to us, but there was a lovely watery area that had flooded a little bit more due to all the weather, and we saw some beautiful wildlife over there. That was right next to the boat. We always like to see what's up ahead of us, so we took a walk up to Lock 88, and as you can see, it was a little bit leaky. Really pleasant place though to go up and walk by, although it did start bringing you up by some of the industrial unit areas. But as I said before, sorry as well that this video is a little bit short, but keep an eye out, because in episode 5 we'll be showing you why we left Wigan. It was a bit of a disaster, to say the least. So thank you for watching our latest video. I hope that you'll keep watching until episode 5. If you like the video, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we will catch up with you soon. Hopefully the next video won't take so long. I'm aware that I'm a little bit late putting this one out, and in the meantime, take care.